My nose and
That's your
everything.
cup.
Cool.
Yeah.
Just wet my butt. Smell my fingers.
All right, we're good to go. I'm just gonna check the audio.
Testing 1, 2. Hold on, I'm gonna try that again. 1, 2. Perfect.
Yeah, this is gonna be epic. Yeah, I'm excited.
Oh. You don't even know how long I've been trying to get this together. Like, ask these two. My bad.
I just think it's cool that it's happening. It's like you guys are doing this.
Oh man, yeah. The podcast kind of started from what was it? Boredom. I didn't want to get like I just left my job. I didn't want to sit home and get depressed. So I was like, oh, let me do something to feed my time. So
Just got to do something. Yeah.
we started a camera. We had a couple of friends help us. The first 2 episodes were a little janky, but we're on. This is 28, episode 28. Yeah, we had over 1,000 subscribers. We got a Cava farm in Tonga sending us Cava. We got another company that sends us Cava. They want us to review it on there.
What you doing, buddy?
Yeah.
He's hanging out.
He's hanging
See,
out.
that's
Arizona, we go to a Cava bar in
That's the
Arizona.
real
And they're like,
special
hey,
guest
no,
right
I
here.
follow you. I'm like, what? Let's go. Yeah.
Oh, I got something. I'm good.
the
Good.
beauty of the internet, man.
I know, man.
Por favor.
That's you, Sean.
Appreciate it.
You'll forget, but it's okay.
I will forget. All right. Where's my truck?
How's everybody doing?
Man, fantastic. What episode are we on? 28?
28.
Wow.
I think.
Huh?
I think.
20.
Oh, is that
Oh, that's Nick. That's Sack Boy. That's Sack Boy. See, he's smart. These other people are asking for the link. Nick's good. I just sent everybody the link to the channel.
Sweet, sweet. Being a good boy, also.
Look at that boy.
Yeah, we're good.
Where's your countdown at? Where's
Where's
the countdown?
Oh, we're live.
Oh, we're
baby.
live?
Yeah, we've been live.
Yo. Cava Spills Podcast episode
28.
28. And as you can see,
I
it's
hope that's wrong.
it's 28. It's 28.
Hi, buddy.
And I've been trying to get this interview forever. We have some OGs of Cava. When I say OG, all right, that term gets thrown around a lot, OG. You hear that a lot, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think there only could be one seriously OG or OGs.
I've heard of an OG that I
Wait,
never even heard of. Somebody
Really?
claimed to
One
be
of
the
these.
OG of Kava, and I never even heard of this
Oh, wow.
person.
Wait, but hold up.
Blasphemy.
You said there could only be one OG or OGs.
You know what I meant? One like group. Man, you know what I mean.
Just want to make sure I'm understanding
One
what you're
group
asking.
of OGs.
One group of OGs.
There's only gonna be one couch.
singular group of
There only could be-
person or person.
There only could be one couch. Let's introduce
One
ourselves.
OG.
Who do we have to my left?
Sloan.
I'm Sir Lawrence.
Ames here.
We have back again. Wait, third time? Second,
This is
third
the
time?
third time Benjamin Franklin has been on your stream.
Actually, you have the
Sean
record
Simpson,
for
yeah.
most. Our
Sean
guest Randy's
Simpson
gonna
here,
be
that's
mad.
me.
Sean Simpson's here.
Probably can't see him that well because Oso's blocking him, but
Kevin.
We got Kevin here. Oh, we're gonna have some wonderful stories. And last but not least,
Ken.
Mr. Ken.
What up?
Before we even get into it, I have a surprise for y'all.
All right.
And I've been keeping it for a week. And if you ask these two girls, I'm horrible at keeping secrets.
Sean knows.
Yes. Yes. I try to get it out of him.
You know?
No.
No,
I
Sean
try
doesn't
hard to
know.
get it out of
You holding
him.
out?
He knows there's a surprise.
I know
of
there's
some
Okay.
some
sort
sort of surprise
that
or
has
secret.
to do with me, right?
Well,
I guessed that, but
Sloan,
they
you
didn't,
had-
they didn't say for sure. But he comes out and he's like,
Ah.
dude, I have a secret. I was like, and Amy just smacks me.
What
Like,
is
what
it?
are you doing? What are you? And I was like, well, you already said that you have a secret. You have to tell us now. You can't just,
all right.
leave
Well,
with that.
I will just, the secret may just
Reveal it.
reveal itself. You know? So how have y'all been doing?
Damn, you teasing
What
us still?
is that?
How How was y'all's
So
week?
the secret's gonna come,
Yeah,
at some
The
point.
It may reveal
conversation
itself
has to be just
In the next
right.
couple
Yeah,
months?
you know the feeling has to be
Big
right.
reveal.
You
Definitely
know?
tonight.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here on this
Yes.
stream.
Yeah, it's just So how was y'all's week? Sean, how was your week?
My week was pretty good. Did some filming last Sunday, and overnight last night I was painting all of inside of Low Tide with the
Looks good.
shout out to Stephen Bowman and Rich Moricon and Matt Melito for helping me out painting inside of Low Tide. It's
Looks
changing. It's different.
Yeah. Hey, what's
so
up,
yeah,
homie?
so far it's been a good week. It's been a good week.
Bet. So, little side note, I don't think you've had any sleep.
No, I got some sleep.
All right.
Yeah,
good,
I went to bed at like 9:30 this morning.
All right,
Oh,
good.
wow.
Yeah,
What's
something
your
like that.
usual? You
I was-
like to stay up all night.
It's usually not that late. Not that late. But
So-
yeah, no, I got a little bit of sleep.
You don't. All right. You don't hang out at other Cava bars. It's Low Tide and home, pretty much.
For the most part, yeah.
Yeah.
Every once in a while. Oh my goodness.
The OOG. Original.
I guess
Look at the face now. Look at the face.
The OG is an actual single oil person.
That's it right here.
This,
All right.
this is the OG.
Yeah. Let's make some room.
Hey, we were started.
Make some
We're
room.
literally live streaming talking about OG days.
Yeah. Surprise. Surprise.
You can look at any of them.
Surprise.
I gotta get
Have
come
a
on.
seat.
Oh my gosh. So to see you.
That's so funny.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jeff Bowman has joined us.
Wow.
The Cava OG.
The OOG.
Welcome. Welcome, my friend.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Amazing Nicole.
Welcome. We got
And
Nicole.
She's also an OG.
Nicole. Here, hop up on here somewhere.
Come say hello.
Thank you. Nice.
Oh,
Thank you, man. Thank you for coming. Hey, ask these girls, how long have I been trying to get this going?
Is that the surprise?
Since
Yes.
the beginning.
Man.
This is the surprise. That was the surprise, my friend. That's what I had to keep a secret for a week.
You,
There you go,
Sean.
sir.
Your face. We're gonna play that. We're gonna play your face. Your face back. So we
It
talk
has
about.
nothing to do with me.
This is crazy.
I
Well,
was trying to throw you off by saying her.
well, the first thing he said was Sloane's pregnant.
I was thinking something. Like, this is big
Oh
news.
man! So welcome to the
Nicole, do you want some
show.
Cava?
Nicole, you want some Cava? No. So we talk about Cava all the time, and we've had Sean on the show. We've had Ken on the show. It's the first time Kevin on the show, and they've told us these stories, and they speak of this mysterious figure that's
Mythical.
mythical figure
Mythical man.
and the background of this Cava industry. So I figure, what's the best way to tell it than from the OG's mouth? First of all, welcome.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for coming down all the way from
Boca Raton.
Boca Raton, and you own a bar called
The Knock.
The Knock. I had a friend up there earlier who put a Cava Spill sticker on the window, so you have a little surprise when you get back. Yeah.
Oh, you already heard about it?
So,
So,
Jeff, how did you hear about Cava?
Well, when I
You guys want to
graduated
drink Cava
from...
first?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
Oh,
drink some Cava.
okay.
All right, yeah.
Cava first?
Let's
Yeah,
drink
yeah.
Cava,
It's good
man.
Cava, right? It's good
Uh,
Cava. Your Cava, what do you mean?
Said it's good Cava.
I don't know. Is your Cava good?
Here we go.
It's good, you did all right.
You've done
I don't
well.
know about the sketchy to know what we're drinking out of.
Where did that come from?
That is the sketchy one. That is the sketchy one.
Beautiful.
Was this? Did you get this on your trip?
Yeah. That was, but it was from the sketchy place.
Oh,
The sketchy place?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
Well, back to my question.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's gonna be a lot of that
It's
tonight.
gonna be hard with the
It's gonna be a lot of that tonight.
cooks in the kitchen. But Jeff, if it wasn't for you, North America wouldn't have Cava. How did you hear about it? How did it get here?
When I graduated from engineering school, that's how I met Ken. I met Ken in college. When I graduated from engineering school, I was building aquariums and maintaining them for very wealthy people in South Florida. And a fisherman from the South Pacific came and brought some Cava with him to visit and shared it with us. And I drank the stuff and I got a buzz from it. And I was like, did I get a buzz from that stuff? That's weird. And then I said, hey, can I drink some more of that stuff? drank some more of it, and I was like, I definitely have a buzz from this stuff. What the hell is this stuff? Americans don't know about this. And it just evolved from that. For a while, I was running a Cava bar in my apartment in college. Like, everybody was coming to my apartment every weekend, and we were grinding up Cava roots with a hand meat grinder on my kitchen table because we didn't know what else to do. We had no idea what we were doing.
Oh my god.
And I would like go to parties where Ken was, and I'd bring Cava, and I'd be like, guys, drink this stuff. And everybody would drink it and be like, this stuff is horrible. You know, like for like a long time, everyone laughed at me when I was like, drink this mud water, it's great. And people would laugh at me. And a lot of people did drink it, but you know, we just took a shot and opened the first Cava bar in North America. And
what year was this?
2002, February 2002.
January.
January 2002, sorry.
Wow.
January 2000.
And then I needed help pretty quickly. And Ken didn't have anything going on, and I said, "Hey Ken, you want to come over and work at the Cava bar?"
We were
Help
just
me
sitting.
squeeze Cava.
Volunteer.
And he ended up like coming
Hey,
over. And
buddy.
he was my second employee that I hired in the whole industry.
Oh,
He's
wow.
Ken is the second employee ever hired in the Cava industry in North America.
Wow.
So
And,
were
he's
we
been in
right?
it-
Yeah.
He's been in
The
it
first
ever,
Cava maker, though.
for sure.
Yeah.
Besides you.
Wow. So
Where-
you two running Cava down in Boca Raton.
Yeah,
Okay. And how did it take off?
it didn't. It wasn't great for a while. It took time, and the only people that were willing to drink it at first were high school kids. So I thought for sure I was getting arrested like a lot of times when my bar would be full of hundreds of teenagers, and you know, nobody ever did anything stupid. No one ever crashed a car. No one ever got hurt. All the time, Ken and I are like, we're going to jail, man. We're going to jail. We're going to jail. And Nicole, who doesn't really want to be on camera, she's started working for me when she was 15 years old. And she's one of the original employees of the Cava industry.
Is that illegal?
She was like my third or fourth employee that I ever hired. And
Wow.
she's worked, and she's been drinking Cava for over 22 years also. She's worked with Ken for a long time.
All right. Bullet to you back there.
Bula.
Bula.
Nicole's scared of the camera.
Not scared of the Cava though. So, what was that? What did the first batch taste like?
Oh man, back
The
in the
very
day,
first batch.
we didn't know what we were doing. Like, we didn't have all the quality controls that we have now. We didn't have all these labs to test things. We didn't know to lab test anything. We just were drinking it. We were kind of dumb. Lucky we didn't get sick and go to the hospital a lot, for sure. And we were drinking a lot of 2-day Cava back in the day. Like, you know, we would be drinking Cava and it would just make us all puke all the time. Nicole and I were just talking about it a few minutes ago about how we used to drink Cava and it was normal. You just drink Cava and you're gonna puke. Like,
Yeah.
everybody puked. We all just accepted it.
Yeah.
You know, it would affect you. You would feel the Cava, but you knew you were gonna puke
Mm-hmm.
and just be nauseous. And you know, it was very hard to try to get people, hey man, drink this stuff, but it's gonna make you nauseous and you'll probably puke. Wasn't really the best sales pitch ever, you know.
And it tastes like dirt.
And it doesn't taste good, and it didn't taste anywhere near as good as the quality of Cava that we drink now. But you know, we just kept at it and kept at it and kept at it, and you know, so a lot of times I was always thinking, what am I doing? Like,
Yeah.
I went to college for 9 years. What am I doing here? You know, this isn't working.
Yeah.
But we never gave up.
Yeah.
Where did you get the kava from? Did you keep getting it from the guy on the boat?
From Vanuatu. It came from the Republic of Vanuatu.
Wow.
I had some partners that were from that part of the world that said they could get Cava, and they could for a little while, and then they couldn't get any more. And then Ken and I actually went to Vanuatu because it was a last-ditch effort to try to figure out where to get Cava, or we were going out of business. I had only enough in my storage unit for a few months. Our supplier told us they couldn't get us any more Cava. These guys who were supposed to get me the Cava decided they couldn't get any more Cava and that maybe we should just close.
Oh wow.
And Ken had went to the casino the night before.
Nice.
He knew I was going. And I literally maxed out all my personal credit cards to go there to try to find Cava for everybody. Ken I don't remember what happened. He hit something in a casino and won a bunch of money.
Really?
He's like, Jeff,
It's me.
I'm coming to Vanuatu. I'm buying
That
the
story is
ticket."
crazy.
Yeah,
That story is
next
crazy.
thing I know, I got Ken tagging along, and we went way out in the jungle in Pentecost Island. We got to see the land diving on Pentecost Island. We got to see a lot of cool things, but we didn't find any kava. Like, there's no kava around.
Not to interrupt you, explain to the viewer what land diving is, because I saw some video of it and I thought it would sound fun with somebody. But what? Explain exactly what is land diving.
On southern Pentecost Island, they have a tradition, and they build these giant towers out of sticks, basically, in April. And they go in the jungle and they select vines that are very juicy, and they tie those vines to the tower. And then the men climb up the tower, and they tie them to their ankles, and they basically bungee jump off of
Oh
it.
my god.
And,
Where bungee jumping basically
yeah, that's where
was.
bungee jumping
Holy
came
cow.
from. And they do it to ensure a bountiful yam harvest. And it's also a competition of who's the toughest guy around, or because climbing up this tower of sticks and tying vines to your feet and diving off head first is risky. So
Just
it's
a
say
little,
the least.
just
just a
a
little bit.
tradition that they do there that not many people get to see. It's a pretty famous thing, but Ken and I were actually in the village where they started this tradition, and we were guests at it, and
Wow.
we got to see it firsthand, like up close, like right there.
Oh man,
Pretty
did y'all
wild.
jump?
Wow.
Were you
No.
terrified that
Would you
someone
have-
was gonna
No, they
die?
wouldn't
No.
let us. They wouldn't
All right,
let us.
you have
I
to
wouldn't
brush
do
your
it. No,
hair
you-
across
you'll
the
break your
ground.
neck, man.
Maybe now, maybe
Yeah.
now I
But
would,
then
I would
you
be
were
a little
young
bit more
and you were
interested,
like,
but
You break your
You
neck,
can do it
man.
now because you're right. He's a
I mean, like, I'm way more fit now than I was
Yeah.
then. But even then, like I
He
worked out for like
climbs
a
up
year.
rocks. He doesn't
I quit smoking
jump
and went there.
Well, he climbs up rocks, but the rocks are like this, though. It's not. What Ken does is climb like
Spider monkey.
Not like-
horizontally.
Spider monkey.
propelling himself from one straight down.
Have you watched some of his
Yes,
Instagram
yes.
videos?
I
I'm like, that's
think that's comparable to what they're talking about.
No, yeah, like this is going down and I'm going up. I'm trying to get up.
what goes up must come down.
Bless you.
Oh, that's
But
crazy.
Ken and I ended up finding a supplier on literally 2 days before we left. We dumped out all our clothes, threw everything out, and packed our bags full of kava, and went and got more suitcases and packed them full of kava, and took the maximum amount of kava they would allow us on the plane, and showed up at customs with nothing but bags full of kava. We had no clothes. We gave all our clothes away. We gave all of our snorkeling gear, everything away, and literally came home with duffel bags full of kava, hundreds of kilos of kava from the supplier, and it's still the same supplier I use to this day.
Holy
Wow,
Wow.
dude.
And
We
we
came
were
back
we were
when-
their first customer. That was invoice 001
shit. Oh my gosh.
for
Crazy.
them,
Wow.
and we still buy kava from them to this day.
Wow.
That's crazy.
my.
What a story. Can you just picture them
Literally
walking up
3
to the...
days before, I said, "Ken, buddy, we got to go home and tell the girls they ain't got no job, and we failed, and there's gonna be no kava industry," and like we were really bummed out. Ken and I were sitting around the hotel, and
Drinking
this is
kava.
after we came off the island, and I'll let Ken tell you what happened. He got sick as hell, man. He was sick, so sick. I still have the video somewhere of Ken in the bed. I was like, oh man, I gotta take this guy to the hospital in Australia. Like, I really was like, oh man, like this is gonna be expensive. But I just felt horrible because he was lying in bed and he was just so sore.
Hey,
What's going on?
Yeah.
Told you it was going to be a good stream.
get out of here.
Excited.
Get out of here.
It's an exciting story.
Excited.
You remember what game or what you won? Was it
Oh,
like
that was
all red?
no, it was a bad beat jackpot. So we were at a poker table and it was like a fucking 4 of a kind got beat by a fuck royal flush. So it's like super rare, bag beat jackpot, and it was me, Jared, and fuck Jamie Moffat.
Yeah.
Ah,
All
wow, that
bunch
guy.
of money.
Moffat.
That guy.
Yeah. Right. But yeah, no, it was when we were coming
My
back,
shell shirt today.
we were given instant. I remember having a whole bunch of instant kava and little baggies.
It looked
Like
drugs.
they're like baggies the size of a credit card.
Uh-huh.
And had shit tons of them.
No
you
label.
know, and no label, nothing,
label.
no label at all. And I was
Gee.
like, we were like flying back on Fiji Airlines. I was like, cool, I'm gonna have some kava. But then I was thinking like, I have to get out, and like go through customs. and I have these fucking baggies that
you
if you
drink it
open it
all?
up and you stick it some of it in your mouth, it's gonna make your mouth numb. I was like, fuck, we're gonna get arrested. This is drugs, man.
Yeah, that's a
Man. And I was like, please, let's just get through customs. But yeah, as soon as we landed, they're like, where are you coming from? Fiji. All right, there you go. And I'm like, oh fuck, they didn't check shit. And I was like, thank God.
So they didn't check any of that? They didn't question you? What?
We walked right through, man.
That's amazing.
Wow.
Sounds like a movie.
It is. It sounds like it sounds like blow.
Right.
What's coming from Fiji that's bad? Like, you know, these guys are bringing back coconuts or something.
Yeah, I bet. If they only knew what y'all were starting, man.
Yeah.
They only
Crazy.
knew what y'all were starting.
Packed, like my backpacks were
Yeah.
loaded up.
Yeah, we didn't have any more bag room for anything but Cava.
What made you take the winnings and not go like shopping, or what made you join that expedition?
Oh, I was already like, you know, a member of the Cava cult. I was like, I want to open my own place. I mean,
Gotcha.
you know, the whole grassroots thing. I was like, I want to open a Cava bar, you know, my own, like way long ago. You know, like it was.
This was 2005. when
Yeah.
we got there.
Yeah. Well,
Wow.
yeah. But yeah, it's like around that time, you know, I was like, oh, I want to open a Cava bar.
Wow, man.
And you guys opened the original Nakamall in 2002, right?
Yeah, January 2002.
Bit by the bug.
Ken started working for me in January of 2002.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Like after only a few days, I was like, I can't do this. Like I need help. Like
I remember making Cava, like just hanging out and like making Cava with you for the grand opening.
took us 8 hours to make the Cava.
Yeah, how
for
did
the
you
day.
make the Cava?
Holy
Oh
cow.
man, we had
You want
to.
very
A
careful.
strainer bag the size of like the Coke bottle.
Yeah, we had only bags.
That's hilarious.
Didn't you
Yeah,
guys have to use
serious.
scissors
We
to
had to
chop
make
the
like
root?
20 gallons
Oh, no,
of
that was-
Cava with
that
a
was a
strainer
little,
bag that was like this big because back then we didn't have much internet and we didn't have all this online commerce and
Mm-hmm.
you know availability of things that we have now, and we just couldn't find anything else. And we didn't want to use socks or pantyhose or something,
Yeah.
so we just had these little strainer bags and we had to make 20 gallons of Cava because we didn't know how many people would show up, and we had to take the whole pieces of Cava root, soak them in water until they got soggy, cut them up, put them in a meat grinder, this big, gigantic meat grinder that could take your whole arm down. And then we would grind it up, and then we would soak it again, and then we would put it in a blender and blend it, and then we would squeeze it.
Oh wow.
Like it took
Oh.
us all day. I was like, we made a mistake. This isn't going to work because it took 2 people 8 hours to make what we needed for the day.
Yeah.
And I was like, we gotta find a better way. Like,
Yeah.
we're not gonna make it.
Yeah. What do you think of not to jump ahead, but like coming back down and seeing going from one Cava bar to how many Cava bars we have? Do we even have a number right now?
The last time I
Too
counted,
many.
it was like
Too many.
148.
There's over 200
In
Cava bars
Pinellas.
in Florida for sure.
How do you feel about that?
Pretty wild.
Yeah, and that
You
Yeah, it's
started it.
pretty wild.
yeah.
Thank you
I
for
know.
being persistent.
Yeah.
Thank you for maxing out your credit cards.
Oh yeah.
And
It took me years to
We
pay
have
that
to
trip
push
off.
shells up.
Dude, for real. Hey, shells at the
And
casinos
I didn't
too.
have to take Ken to the hospital.
Hey.
Did you get sick from like the Cava, or did you just get dehydrated, or do you remember?
I'm sure that the sickness probably ended up coming from eating like, you know, village food.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah,
mean,
they
Like
don't
food
have
poisoning.
whatever they
sanitation.
offer, you know, it's like you eat. That's
Right.
it. You know, regardless of what it is. And I ate everything they gave me.
Remember
I
the
mean,
rats? Remember sitting at the little table? And Ken says, something's falling on me. And we looked up and there was 2 rats in the thatch of the hut. Like
Oh my gosh.
looking through, we could see them with their noses, like looking through at our taro, the steaming bowl of taro they gave us, and they're just sitting there looking, and I'm like, oh man, what are we doing?
Oh, I bet there's a lot of those moments of like, should we just throw in the towel? How many of
Just
those?
call it.
Yeah, just like.
Oh, man,
I felt like I was in a National Geographic fucking documentary. No cameras though. Nobody was gonna help me.
What about
You know?
the spider story? I
Oh
love
my
that
god.
story.
Well, there's a couple fucked up spider stories, but I mean, in the little house that we stayed in the village, you know, where the priest stayed, it was like you lift up the mat, you know, like your sleeping pad, and underneath there's these big, huge fucking hand-sized fucking
Oh my god.
brown spiders. I
Furry
mean,
spiders.
they were everywhere. You go in the bathroom, there it is. It's like the only bathroom in the entire village that actually you can
Had a
flush.
toilet.
Yeah. I was like, yes.
Look out for the spiders.
But yeah, spiders. and there was I can't remember. It was like we were out somewhere, and there was like power lines all across, and in the power lines there was huge webs,
Like banana spiders.
and there were like
Massive.
thousands of spiders hanging out in the webs.
Oh no.
And I was like, oh my fucking god! I was like, this is the worst. There's not very many things that I just don't like, and spiders is for sure one of them.
Wow.
You know
What they went through.
We
I
had to
would've-
drink so much Cava there. Like, it's like the Cava Olympics going to Pentecost Island. I'm not going to kid you. They just don't stop. And we would crawl home every night. Like, we would literally almost crawl home. Like, we were just... They won't help you home. Like, you have to get home yourself.
No
And,
Ubers out there.
one night,
Good
I'm
luck,
setting up
definitely
my
not.
bed and trying to get in my bug net, and I hear all this ruckus coming from Ken's room on the other side of the wall. I see flashlights and shadows. Ken comes running into my room. He said, "The spiders jump, Bowman!" I said, "What?" He said, "One just jumped from one wall to the other." He said, "They fucking jump!" And like, he's freaking out. We're wasted on Cava. I'm like, "Ken, this isn't the time to be wrangling spiders. Like, we need to go to sleep." And like, it was just hilarious, man. He's like, "I can't sleep in there now." He's like, "Have you looked under your mattress?" I said, "Yeah, I looked under the other day. I just put it down and tried to pretend like I didn't see anything." He's like, "I can't sleep." Like, the hole under the mattress was like spiders underneath the bed. Like, and we were sleeping on it.
Oh
We had
my
a bug net
God.
around us.
Yeah.
But like, Ken was
Oh,
like, "No,
yeah.
look under your mattress." I said, "I did, buddy. I know,
How
man.
big? How
What
big?
are we gonna do?
Like the size of your hand.
What are we gonna
Like,
do? We're here."
How do you
How
sleep?
thick was the bug
I
net?
would not sleep.
I
Very
mean,
not thick.
Could they eat through it? I mean,
No, they didn't want nothing to do with us. They didn't care about us.
Oh,
They're
they were
not
visitors.
scary. I see them all the time when I go to Vanuatu. When I sleep in the village now, they don't phase me. I know they're not going to bother me. But the first time you see it, when you're just used to
Yeah.
being a city person, you're like, "What the fuck is that?" Like,
I don't know if I can
I'm
go out
gonna
there. I
die.
hate spiders.
yeah, I hate spiders, but you know that they don't bother you, but still, like,
A lot of them.
Less
Yeah.
other bugs, you know.
did you see them when you went, Sean?
No, I
You
only
didn't
there was I had a buddy in the bathroom at the Cava bar in Simbolo. He was hanging out on the wall, but he was about that big,
Yeah.
not hand size.
we didn't take Sean out to the outer
No,
island.
I didn't go to
That's
the I
next
didn't go to that
it.
island.
Sean,
You're not ready for that island yet.
Ken and I weren't either. We didn't have
Yeah.
any vaccinations. We didn't have
Oh,
proper
wow.
gear. We didn't know what we were doing. Like,
Yeah.
we're lucky we survived, to be honest.
Huh.
And now I know what I need to travel there, and it's a totally different story. And like, it's better if you just take people to the city where there's like street lights and roads and sidewalks, and let them see a little bit of normalcy before you start taking them out to a place like that, because
Yeah.
it's
Out in the bush.
your brain plays tricks on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I'm glad I
Yeah.
started in Vila. If I want to go back.
And I mean,
awesome.
I took Sean
I
into
know, I dig that.
places in Vila where tourists don't ever go. Like,
Huh.
that's where I go drink Cava. I don't go hang out at the nice Cava bars in town that have
Yeah.
seats and stuff. I'm
Seats make it nice.
yes,
Yeah.
make it nice.
Yeah, sometimes I'm sitting on car axles or cement blocks or just
Nice.
I don't know, whatever they got.
Yeah,
Oh,
they, had,
wow.
they had a few plastic chairs.
Yeah,
Few.
they have a few plastic chairs at the Cava bars that we would go to, but
What kind of water do they use?
Whatever they got.
They
Typhoon
use
lunch.
the water from the city, which may or may not be contaminated depending on whether or not the line is broken somewhere.
Oh,
Like, it's
I'm assuming that's probably where I got the messed up stomach from.
yeah. Sean, on night one, when I arrived there, I said, "Sean, come on, it's getting late. It's not the best time to go drink Cava, but we'll go to some of the like nicer looking Cava bars." And I would grab a shell and I would drink it, and I would say, "No, don't drink it. Throw it out." And we'd
Yeah.
dump it, and then I'd say, "All right, we'll go to the next one." And we were just drinking nothing but sour Cava all night.
The first place
Oh,
wasn't
gosh.
bad. The first place
We
wasn't bad.
found one place that was okay, but that bar is owned by the Prime Minister of Vanuatu. So there's,
Oh, wow.
there's a reason it's I forgot what it's called, Timber Nakamal. Timber
yeah,
Nakamal.
timber, knock 'em all.
Yeah.
And it's that was the best Cava that we had there. But whatever we gave Sean that night, he had a little bit of an issue for a few days.
Yeah, it was all right though. It was worth it.
Yeah.
It was all worth it.
One thing I respect most about y'all is you keep the culture of Cava alive. I've gone to many of Cava bars where it's like, what is this? Like, what is this, a nightclub or is this a sports bar?
Yeah.
Like, I know I'm drinking Cava, but like, where's it come from? You know what I respect, and even going to Grassroots is a huge map of Vanuatu. You know, I'm sure that thing on your neck has something to do with the islands, you know?
This is shell money from the Solomon Islands. I don't know which island it's from.
Cool.
I can't think right now.
So do you think it's important to tell the story of where Cava came from? And do you think that story is being told in all this Cava boom and all these businesses opening?
It's not for sure.
Yeah.
Like I rarely leave my bar. These guys will tell you. This is the first time I've ever been to Low Tide, by the way.
Oh!
What?
What?
Are you kidding me?
No, I've never been here.
Wow.
I don't go to
Gonna put a
people's
ticket.
Cava bar.
Oh,
I
you too.
because I have
That's
everything I
wild.
need in my bar. I have all the best Cava I can drink, all my
Yeah.
favorite people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I just don't go far. And but I think it is important that you have a community. Like, I see some of these Cava bars that I've been to, and like they're just like stores. They're just like a store, and
Yeah.
you know, I'm sure they sell Cava and Kratom, and I'm sure that they're doing okay, but Cava bars that build communities like Grassroots and Low Tide and some of the other bars up here that I know of, Muddy Water, they build a community, and it's really just because Ken is up here.
Yeah.
And Ken has been to real Nakamal's in Vanuatu, I promise you. Ken has drank Cava in real Cava bars in Vanuatu. He knows what the deal is. He helped me run a Cava bar for a decade. Like, he knows what Cava is and what's the right way, and that's why these guys are so successful up here.
Yeah, well,
I know
they make-
Kevin and I
they
wouldn't
get
be
it.
sitting here if it wasn't for Ken.
Absolutely.
They get it.
I mean, it's all, you know.
Right.
Well,
But, you
yeah.
know, like, for sure, like, I think that the whole reason why it's all successful in the beginning is not because of the products, not because of this and that. It's really because of the experience that was provided.
Yeah.
You know, like, and I carry along, you know, like, the experiences that I had, you know, way back in the day, you know, they're like, yes, this is Cava, you know, whatever, but it's like a big community thing. We all drink it together. We all experience things. But even way back then, we had pictures of where it came from. You know, there were maps on the wall way back then, you know, for like, you know, like, where's it come from? Oh, look on that map,
Yeah.
you know, like,
We
South
didn't even
Pacific.
know.
You know, and I didn't know, and I was like, oh,
never
thank
been
God there was a map here. Because now I know. I've never heard of Vanuatu what? You know,
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what that is, you
Yeah.
know, like, I've heard of Fiji, but I couldn't place it on the map, and
Yeah.
I'm pretty good with geography, you know?
Yeah.
But back then, you know, like, I really learned a lot, and I was like, man. But funny thing, I think, is really that when I was, you know, when we were out there, you know, however many years ago, is that the kind of like the same culture of like people hanging out, you know, and drinking, and even like the culture of people not paying their tabs. They're like, oh, just add it to the tab, you know. And I was
Here he
like,
goes
fuck.
again.
I was like, shit. This really is happening all the way out there. They have no idea what we're doing. We have
Yeah.
no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the same shit is going on in the same kind of place. And I was like, that's kind of freaky.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you go to a
That
Cava
is
bar in
freaky.
Vanuatu, they don't speak English. They speak Bishlama. A lot of people do speak English there, but most of the people speak Bishlama, the native language of Vanuatu. And you will notice that you go into a Cava bar there, and you will feel at home if you hang out in Cava bars, because the same things that are going on here are going on there. And vice versa. It's just in a different language. Some people on their phone, some people sitting having conversations, like some people being clowns and goofing off, people
Yeah.
laughing, having fun, some people having serious conversations. Same thing goes on in the Cava
Yeah.
bars here that goes on there, I promise you, 100%.
And I'll tell you, like, they are so welcoming and nice. And like, I didn't know any of these people. I mean, a lot of them know Jeff, but they didn't know me, and they were all coming up to me and talking to me and
Buying us Cava all
buying us
night.
Cava,
Wow.
and they have
Tried to go
like
pay for Cava
nothing.
and they wouldn't take our money.
They just got hit by a hurricane or a cyclone, as they call it, and
No
all this-
power.
yeah, everything
Wow.
was messed up, and they're still buying us Cava, and
Yeah.
it's just like,
And we go up
It
to the
was
bar to
special.
go pay for shelves, and they say, no. I'm like, who paid for the Cava? They're like, I'm not telling you.
Can I ask
And
how
they
much?
would just pay for our Cava, and like these people don't make much money, and like, you know, Cava there is 50 cents US a shell, which is a tremendous amount of their earnings. But I go to Cava bars frequently in Vanuatu, and I can't pay for my stuff.
Wow.
Like, it happens. It's been happening the whole time I go there. Like, people will line up. Nicole went with me one time, and we were there on we were on Vila, and
Just
there
the-
was a line that was
just the
forming
dumpster
at this
place?
Cava bar. Yeah, we went in the dump, man.
Yeah.
We were literally in the trash dump in Vanuatu drinking Cava.
Nice.
And there was a Nakamal there, Mr. Tabasini's, And Nicole said, Jeff, what's that line for? I said, I don't know. And I said, hey, man, to the guy next to me, I said, what's that line for? They said, for you. I said, what? They said, those are the people that are waiting to buy you Cava because you came all the way up here to their
Oh
place.
my god.
And like, I couldn't pay for Cava. They were buying us Cava, and we couldn't do anything.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Super,
literally some of the most
super
generous
friendly
people.
Yeah,
They
it's
really
so
unlucky
incredible.
people. I can't tell you.
After a
how.
hurricane too.
After they got hit by 2 cyclones in a row.
Wow.
I went in on the first plane that they allowed into the country after the cyclone because they had the army in there cleaning up. They had armies from Fiji, Papua New Guinea, Australia, from all over the world trying to help them restore their power and their water and clean up the mess.
Yeah.
And Sean came in just a couple of days after.
Wow.
So it was all wrecked there.
At the Nakamalls there, do they have tip jars?
No, they don't accept money. If you go into a Nakamal, a tribal Nakamal that's traditional out in the village, there's no money exchanged. You go in and everybody harvests the Cava, and they take turns. One night, one guy will go out, harvest plants from his garden, bring it into the Nakamal, process it, and then he'll say, your Cava's ready, come and get Cava. Your Cava's ready, come and get Cava, and give Cava to whoever they want. And then the next day, they expect that you is going to go out in your garden and get Cava, and then say, hey, you got me Cava yesterday. Your Cava is ready.
Ah.
And they share the responsibility of making the Cava the young boys.
Wow.
Beautiful.
But women aren't allowed in traditional Nakamals in
Right.
Vanuatu.
Yeah, I heard that.
No, it's just their culture, man. It's the way it is. If you go into a Cava bar where money is exchanged, Cava bars are for making money, and Nakamals are social gathering places in the tribes. So if you go to a Cava bar where money is exchanged, they let the girls in.
Got you.
And do they accept tips there?
No, there's no tipping in this side.
I know where you're going with this.
They look
I
me-
was
they
just
look me cra-
curious
they look at me
if you
crazy.
can't pay, if you could at least give them a tip.
No, they won't
I
accept
thought
it.
you were going.
No, I mean
Melanesian people have something about their culture where they don't really like to accept favors from people because they're very serious about repaying those favors.
right.
And if I give you a favor and you don't know me well, you might never see me again, and now you have a debt hanging over your head forever that you can't pay, and they don't like that.
Wow.
So that's I think part of the reason why they don't
That
accept
makes
tips or favors. They're kind of shy people, wonderful people.
Yeah.
They really are. They're very welcoming, like Sean said. Sean had a great experience there in Vanuatu with
My
me.
boy Fabrice. Shout out to
Fabrice.
Oh,
Fabrice.
yeah.
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 I got his picture. We'll put his picture up.
Yeah.
We'll put his picture up.
I love Fabrice.
So, my man, welcome to the show, by the way.
Thank you for having me.
And what's your
Feel lucky to be here.
when was your first show? Tell me that story.
Ooh, 2009?
2009 for sure.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
did
there
it
was
happen?
a little tiki bar that opened up in a neighborhood. My brother and I had just moved off of 25th Avenue in Burlington.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a job, and I'm like, hey, that place looks cool. I'm going to pop in over there.
Keep going. I'll
I
interject
think you
with
tell
your-
this part better.
I think I'll, So back in the day, Kevin Nelson, red-headed, hippie-looking guy, and I was like, oh,
Really?
this guy looks the
Wow.
part. This is
That's
great.
right. Yep.
He's like, oh, you're looking for someone. I was like, I'll apply, and I was like, all right, you can apply. I'm like, whatever.
You can apply. I'm not going to hire you.
Well, I was like, I was like, hopefully I have enough business we can hire someone. Because at that point it was just me,
Yeah.
working
For a
every
long
shift.
time.
Yeah, 7 days a week.
That was the first Cava bar in St. Pete.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was no employees. It was just me. But yeah, you apply, and then like I've got all his info. A couple days later, he was like, that's that phone number that's on there. It's no good anymore. But I'll give you another phone number. It's my friend. You call him, he'll let me know. And I was like, what the fuck?
And you
does
had
that
dreads
mean?
too?
I was a
I didn't
mess,
have a
dude.
working phone.
I
I
was
was
a
like,
mess.
what the hell is going on?
I would
call my boy
What's going on?
for a reference too.
We didn't have power at the apartment. I would know what time to get to work
Oh my
based on
gosh.
the telephone pole shadow.
Wow.
Like hang out on the
Yes.
picnic table in the back.
Wow, dude.
It was wild. I don't know why. Just went out on a limb, man.
I mean,
Wow.
back in the day, I would just about everybody I've ever hired way back in that day was like, people, you helped out even when you weren't even you didn't even work there. You helped out and you were helpful, and you had the
Hands on
spirit.
deck.
But you had the spirit. You had to like, I like this stuff, and I want to show people about what it is. And I was like, that's what we need. I mean, I know that I've been successful, and I stuck with it because I was taught something, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I really like what it's all about.
Yeah.
And I was like, I gotta tell people it. Whether they believe me or not, I'm gonna just keep telling you. It took 13 years for anybody in my family to be like, all right, whatever you're doing is some real thing. Like before then, they were like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? Is everything all right? Like,
We sent you to college.
but you're like chasing after this dream. I'm like, I'm gonna do this, and working for other people for so long, and I love the experience, and I'm really proud of everything that I did and all the people I met. But until I had my own, I was like, fuck, man, what am I doing? Just working for people. I'm just like, I'm just a cog, and I'm like, I feel like I'm more than that. Like I have like real experience. I have real love for what it is, and it took a while. It took a long time.
Brought that love all the way here, man.
But I mean, that's the
Looking it
thing.
up.
I mean, that's the thing that you had. That's the thing that you had, and I was like, all right. I mean, Sean tried to get a job for so fucking long.
Well, technically, I kind of worked there doing the commercial stuff.
Yeah, but I mean, and you helped out, you cleaned, and you did all sorts of things. But I was like, Sean, you're working for your brother. Like,
I was a train wreck. I was 100%
I was-
train wreck.
it was all
whatever.
hands on
I
deck,
was
man.
like, you got your own thing going on.
Yeah.
Like, just keep with it.
You'll get there.
Yeah, you'll get there. That film stuff you're doing, I think you'll make something
And
one
then
day.
I
Sorry.
somehow got there, but a lot of it was because when I left school, I didn't want to stop doing, like, being a part of the Cava community. And there was a couple guys we talked, and I wanted to spread what Ken had taught me about the love and respect of Cava, and then also with Jeff, because I met Jeff probably 2010, 2011.
time.
I would come down and get pick up
Oh
Cava
yeah,
with Ken.
yeah, we did. We definitely.
So I got to see
Bring
that culture
Cava
a
in
lot. We
track
would go down there
bags
all the
and-
time.
Yeah.
Mix and stuff.
And I wanted to spread that love, so that's why I opened up Low Tide. So it was because of what I learned from these guys and wanted to spread that community aspect and that love for Cava that they curated.
Yeah.
One thing I've noticed is there are a lot of kava bars around here, but the only successful ones are the ones owned by people who love kava.
No, you're right.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
if
Right.
you don't
more than
love
a
kava,
business.
if you don't drink kava, why are you selling it?
Yeah.
That's a
Well,
Cava,
because they see the
the profit
potential
margin.
for profit.
But
Yeah.
they're not that successful.
No,
No.
no, they're not.
Yeah, I
Darn
mean,
less.
being
Even-
successful with Cava, this is not just like I can sell this stuff, but I mean,
Yeah, you
how do you make it, and who is selling it?
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to, is who's the one providing an experience. If
Yeah.
you're not really getting an experience, you're just getting a drink at Starbucks. You ain't getting no experience
Right.
at Starbucks.
Yeah.
You just buy something and you walk out.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I'll
You know?
say, like, the profit of money, yeah, of course it's a business and you want to make money, but for me the profit is the community. Like, having a community built, it's like, I don't care about money, as long as I have enough to pay my bills that I need. Like, it's about building that community and the love that other people share back and
Yeah.
forth. That's the profit that I get out of
Mm-hmm.
it, personally.
I
And
think
Go ahead.
that's why I think that the Cava community has been so successful here in St. Pete, is that it has come from the horse's mouth all the way down the line, and there is such a close, tight-knit community that does exist here, and everyone just bands together, and it takes a village to get through.
Yeah.
It's-
Not much was lost in the game of telephone, from the doors to.
Sure.
I mean, really.
Really?
I mean, there are definitely some variations. You go to the knock, there's going to be a little bit of variation from what you find here. There's a variation from what you find at Low Tide, to
Yeah.
grassroots.
dialect.
But
Yeah.
when it comes down to the core of it, I mean, the core is still all there.
It's
you
definitely
know?
a common denominator within
exactly.
those, and that's why Low Tide. How many years?
Will be February 15th of next year. Will be 10 years.
10 years. And shout out to Muddy Waters because they're having their anniversary tonight.
Yep.
What is that?
Happy anniversary.
What is it, 9 years?
Nobody cares.
Yeah.
It's
But yeah.
it's 8 or 9 years, I think.
Yeah.
So 7.
7 years for them?
Yes, they opened
Oh,
up
yeah,
right
they-
before
you guys did.
grassroots.
That's
Day.
right,
We're
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
be doing our 7th in January.
Sweet.
But yeah,
Look
they
at that.
all those Muddy Waters, Grassroots, Low Tide. I still haven't gone to the Knock, but I already feel like I know what it is if
Oh,
I've
we
been
need
to
to
theirs.
Come
We
on.
want
You can
to.
go down there.
Good
dude.
luck getting in the
we
door
need-
now.
Yeah, we need to
Yeah,
take it,
yeah.
right?
I want to give you a warning real quick.
What's the warning?
Now that he knows you, and that they'll know you down there, be prepared to drink a lot of Cava.
Oh,
and
man.
they're
We're
gonna
your-
force
Let's
feed you.
go.
They will.
We are your
Look
I
out
don't know if you
Eric.
know. I got
And
a Bula shell tatted on
gonna
me.
get
So
that.
let's
Yeah,
go.
yeah,
Ozzy-
ask
yeah.
Ozzy or
Ask
Boer.
Ozzy.
Yeah,
What
Ozzy?
do you,
Or
what do
Ozzy.
you want
No,
to
no,
talk to Ozzy? He's the guy. He'll
Ozzy.
he'll
I'm
get
scared
you
of that
a
name.
You guys
Cava.
want a bullet to the knock?
There's Bula to the
Yeah,
Knock,
Bula.
man.
Bula.
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 So Jeff sent me a little video of some of the stuff he's doing. And he brought Cava to America, but so why isn't we'll say this first. We'll ask this question first. Why isn't Cava why can't you find it in America? Why isn't it available to grow here, and why do we have to go outside of America to find it?
It's just where the plant comes from. It comes from the South Pacific. It's indigenous to Vanuatu, they believe, is where Cava originated, and then it went on canoe voyages across the islands as the islanders moved, looking for new places to live. They would take a Cava plant, and they would take a coconut, they would take a pig, they would take a yam, and then they would go in their canoe and paddle, which is madness. If you ever see the South Pacific, how rough it is, it's madness. Sean will tell you, he's a little experienced going out in the open ocean.
I would not get on the canoe.
Madness.
See
Going
stick.
in a little tiny
No, I didn't get
canoe
these.
that you're paddling,
Yeah.
that you built out of wood yourself.
Oh my.
And when they got a new island, they would go there and they would plant their Cava, and now this Cava would evolve into a new cultivar. Each time you move a plant, it kind of becomes its own cultivar. It changes it a little bit from location to location. So, it never really spread outside of the South Pacific until I started selling it. There was Cava pills before that, and there was Cava in Hawaii, but it wasn't like, all these Cava bars we have now, hundreds of Cava bars around. And I think partially it's because of the taste of the Cava, and people think it's weird, but now I'm working on growing Cava here in America. That's what that hat is that I gave you. That's my American Cava logo from
Cool.
myself and
The camera.
the owner
Dope hat.
of Root of Happiness Cava Bar, Tyler Blythe, and the owner of Cavafied, Matt Massafilio. The three of
Yeah.
us
Oh,
are
nice.
working very hard to grow Cava here in the United States,
I saw that.
and we're doing it under the name Cali Cava,
Uh-huh.
Cali Cava brand. We have plants that will grow
Ooh.
here in
Yeah.
Florida, so we are actively working on planting some Cava and planting some test plots to see how it'll go.
That's
Wow.
badass.
Are you gonna do it outside or are you gonna do it
All
indoors?
outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
What
gonna-
about the winter?
the plants will be fine. We've the guy who started all this, Tyler, he spent a lot of time doing special things to these plants to make them be able to withstand the cold. And I've had Cava down in my yard in Boca Raton for over 2 years,
Oh wow.
and it's survived 2 winters in a row with 40 degrees.
Wow.
hitting
Oh, wow.
40 degrees, and the plants are still alive and they're still fine.
How long until a Cava root is ready to be harvested and sold or grinded up?
In Vanuatu, it's 5 years minimum. That's
Okay.
the best Cava. What you're drinking here, this is 4 or 5-year-old Cava for sure.
Oh wow.
But here in America, we get 1,000 hours more sunlight than they do there,
Oh, wow.
and I believe that we'll be able to grow the Cava faster. I believe
Oh, wow.
we'll be able to grow it and harvest it in 2.5 to 3 years
Oh wow.
to have the same quality of Cava that we get.
Oh really?
But it's all a theory, and we don't know if it'll work. And it's the same thing. I'm back to like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Still going.
There's a lot of investment and a lot of time that's going to go into it before you even know whether
Before
it's
if
gonna
we
work.
know,
Mineral supplements.
You know, it's not like corn. I'm going to plant it and then the season. You
But
know,
at least you
soil.
say
There
you
it is.
tried to
I'm
do
gonna
it.
try. I'm
Yeah.
gonna try, and I have the plants to do it. I have hundreds and hundreds of plants in my yard in Boca Raton that I take care of, and I'm looking for land, and we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
What is
You-
this? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, have you ever heard of green Cava?
I was just about to. Yo, I was just about to say that.
I have it. I sell it at my. If you come to the Knock, I sell green Cava every day in my bar.
What is different about it?
Yeah. What is green copper?
Green Cava is Cava that's harvested and prepared immediately after it's harvested when
It's
it's
not
still
dry.
fresh and got all the juices inside of it.
Huh.
They basically pulverize the fresh roots and then they squeeze the juice out of it. Sometimes they add water to it if they want to be nice to you, but sometimes they don't.
Oh.
Like
Pentecost
what we
Island
drink,
and Cava, they will frequently just pulverize the roots and squeeze the juice out of it and just give it to you, and you'll. I have a funny story about Ken. We should tell them this story.
Yes, please.
So Ken and I went to Londar Village in Pentecost Island, and we literally had to climb up the side of a mountain with backpacks on, holding onto roots and rocks, and hoping to God we didn't fall.
That was before you were a rock climber.
Yeah.
Before.
Literally, and we
Foreshadowing.
had just flown all the way to the South Pacific. We were tired. We didn't know where we were. We hadn't been sleeping because we were anxious. And they next thing we know, we get off we walked all the way there, real far through the village, and to get there. And we get there, they're like, okay, we're going up there, and I'm like, what are we doing? And so we climbed all the way up to the top of this village, and we got up there. They said, okay, you're sleeping in this stick house. You're sleeping in this stick house. And the next thing we know, we could hear this sound, thunk, 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 thunk. And we didn't know what it was. We didn't know where we were. We didn't know what was happening. We were just happy. We were like, oh, thank God we're not sleeping on the floor with spiders, because it was very clean what they gave us.
Yeah.
And then the boys came over and got us and said, hey, they're making the Cava for you. And I looked at my watch and I'm like, it's 2:00 in the afternoon, boys. They said, yeah, special occasion. You're here. We're making you the Cava. Come to the Nakamal. And I was like, all right, Ken, they want us to go to the Nakamal. So we go to the Nakamal, and they didn't put any water in the Cava. I'm very sure of it, because they had special guests there. They don't get many Americans there. And they say, oh, your Cava is ready. And Ken and I go get these shells. They're gigantic green Cava shells, because that's all they drink in Vanuatu.
Wow.
We're drinking the Cava, and I'm sitting there on the bench next to Ken, and the next thing I know, Ken falls off the bench sideways. He fell off the bench, and I was like, uh-oh. He's laying on the ground in the Nakamal. And I was like,
Oh, no.
Where people
Okay.
sleep
Oh,
on the
shit.
floor.
I'm like, there's dogs running around, chickens running around. I'm like, Ken, I'm kicking him. Dude ain't waking up. And I'm like, oh no, hope he's not dead. I didn't know. And I'm like, Ken, he's like, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh man. Sorry guys. Like, oh no, it's okay. He'll wake up.
He'll wake up.
Sleep it off.
He was sleeping for hours on the floor of the Nakamal, sleeping there. And I was like, man, is this guy all right? I'm sitting there still drinking Cava. I'm hammered. I'm like, man, I'm going to be down there with him soon.
We cuddled up
And
together.
then finally he wakes up and he sits up. He's like, what happened? What's going on? I'm like, you're in the Nakamal in Londar. I was like, you'll be okay. Come on, get back up here. And I moved over and gave him a spot. He sits down. I'm not shitting you. Within 30 seconds, one of the boys said, Ken, your Cava is ready. I said, hey, buddy, go at it. That's your Cava. You got to go. And he's like, wow. And this is how they roll there, man. This is how
Did
they
you
roll.
drink
Did you drink one?
Yeah, you had to.
There's
If
no
you
saying
step
no.
foot in the Nakamal, you have, it's rude. to
I've
not
never
participate.
been so probably fucked up from drinking Cava in my life.
And we
Drinking
we
water.
crawled home. We were crawling. I'm
I
not joking.
don't remember going back to my little hut. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't as bad. I'm sure not as bad. What for Fabrice and what was his name? The best Cava maker in the world. What was his name? Joseph.
Joseph.
They did a little ceremony with the stone ground Cava for us. That first one was like almost no water at all. I don't remember if I saw him pour water. They just squeezed it right into the shell.
Oh my goodness.
And I think I told the story before, but I'm sitting there and Jeff's
Send you the
talking to
video of
me,
it.
and Jeff talks a lot, and I'm just sitting there, Jeff, I don't know what the fuck you're saying right now, dude.
I can't understand you. I don't even know what you're saying. And
I'm surprised I
speaking
didn't fall
English,
over,
and I'm
but
right here.
thankfully I was in
He
the
was just
chair.
sitting in the chair, and he was like this, and he's like, I was like, oh man, homeboy's wrecked.
But the whole time I'm thinking, I was like, shit, that was the first shell. We have to finish this Cava. They made all this Cava for us, but we have to finish
You
it.
can't walk out of the
First
Nakamal.
one.
Yeah, so
You
we
can't.
did.
It's
We
rude.
did. Yeah, we definitely did though.
You stay there until it's gone.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you
Wow.
if you step foot in the Nakamal, it's like the Olympics. You're not out. You can't get out. There's no quitting in this place.
Cage
Wow.
match.
They won't want you to come back. Like it's
Uh-huh.
rude.
Right.
Yeah.
It's offensive to them
Yeah,
because
it's a very
they
special
take it as,
thing.
oh, our kava's not good enough. Okay,
Ah,
you know, they don't ever think,
it's
oh, our
too
kava's
good.
too strong for you.
Yeah.
They don't know that. They don't. That's
They
not
don't
part of
understand
their understanding of life. No,
How old are they when they start drinking kava?
I think 13. I
Okay.
think it's when they become a man.
Abby.
It's somewhere around 13, 14.
They jump off the thing.
They
And
jump
then
off
they
of it
have
in
to jump.
And
Pentecost,
then they have to
Yeah.
push up.
and then they go get circumcised in the hut, and then they're men.
What
Yo,
is
Hey. Yes.
They
Yo.
get circumcised with hot rocks.
If I ever,
What? Dude.
what?
hot rock circumcision?
Yo, if I ever meet
boy.
anybody from Vanuatu, y'all got my respect.
Ooh.
Y'all got it
Oh,
all.
you gotta
Like,
come there
what y'all-
someday.
They're hardcore.
I have to
They
go
are
over there.
hardcore.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at any of those guys, and they're fucking ripped.
Solid
Yeah.
muscle
Like,
everywhere,
ripped.
all of them.
Yeah.
Solid muscle, all
And
of
they
them.
don't even drink water. Their whole thing is like,
Yeah.
don't drink water. That's like fucking for pussies.
Really?
Don't drink
Yeah.
water.
It's
I was
wild.
like,
Yeah, you want to
hold
go?
on. I was like, hold on. I was like, I need water. I'm like, I need water. We went bushing through the fucking forest, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, I didn't know we are gonna be out here for 3 hours in a single direction. Like,
Single direction.
not prepared for anything. I was like, there's no water. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do? I'm thirsty. Oh my god.
We have life straws now.
Dude, I drank
Yeah,
out
that's
of
good.
I drank out of like some stream. I was like, fuck
Ken
it.
started drinking out of the river. It's probably where you got the parasite.
Oh.
river.
Yeah.
It was moving fast. It was a river.
Probably where you got the.
The other guy said, yeah, it's all right, no problem. I was like, all right, I'm thirsty. I'm drinking this shit.
Oh my goodness.
Scoop it with your hand.
You trying to
Yeah.
go?
Nice.
I
Love
would
it.
love to go, but Ames and I wouldn't be allowed to go to the
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, we
You
go
can
to a nice
Cava
ones.
bar. They
But I
Cava
can-
bar.
You can come to Pentecost Island. You just can't go in the Nakamo. There's Cava bars in Pentecost that they probably would let you in. I could probably talk.
Probably.
I could talk somebody into letting you into a Cava
I
bar.
Knock 'em off
guess
to
you
the
had
side.
had
Just guys.
I was gonna say,
and a
just a
Cava bar
mustache.
next to each other.
one mustache.
Uh-huh.
From America.
Nicole's been to Pentecost, right?
No, Nicole's been to Santo Island, and she's been to Tana
okay.
Island to the top of the volcano Mount Yasser.
I still have not done that.
Yeah, I want
Nicole's
to
been to
volcano?
the Solomon Islands.
Yeah,
Nicole has
sounds right.
swam with the sharks in the Morova Lagoon.
Oh,
Nicole's been to Savu Savu in northern Fiji. Nicole's been a lot of.
Passport.
Nicole's
No
been a
stamps
lot.
on that
Nicole's
passport,
been
huh?
farther in the jungle than any of my employees.
You survived, huh? Get you.
here.
Yeah. Still drinking kava. What damn, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Good kava.
Damn.
Right.
Oh, what's your favorite kava?
Right now, I'm drinking pretty much exclusively Puariki kava from Tongoa Island in Vanuatu. It's super good kava. I brought some. I have some in the car, but I couldn't find anywhere to park out here. I'm staying a block away from here, just so.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I stayed like a block away on Clinton Street, just so I could
Nice.
come and see you.
Yeah.
I
Like,
But
yeah,
if
we've
you
been
have some
organizing
Puariki
things.
kava in the truck. I can bring over. It's very good kava. It's very strong.
Oh, you got some right
It has
there.
very little taste. Oh, Ken, I gave Ken a couple
Ooh,
bottles.
already-
If you guys
Is-
want to try some?
is this
the-
If
Try
I have
some?
more, I can bring it
Yeah.
over.
Is this the stuff that when we were out there, the new stuff, or is it different?
I don't know. I get new stuff all the time.
Yeah, he has
The
all
stuff
clear off
that,
their cups.
The stuff that you
and
let me
then
bring
drink
back.
some of that.
Puariki.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's
When we were in Vanuatu,
finish.
Where is Pretty Ricky?
Puariki,
Puariki.
it's Tongoa Island.
Turkey's from
It's somewhere near
That's a
Epi
lot
Island,
up
which
there.
is where the Kalai kava comes from, which is my second favorite kava. They're really excellent kavas. I prefer to drink kava green, but it's tough to find. I have some excellent green kava that I serve at the Knock from the Fiji Islands. So if you ever come down, I have all types of exotic, rare types of kava.
Yeah, we're going to the knot. We got
Thank you.
to.
Yes.
We got
yes.
to.
Let's make a road trip.
So you mentioned you were going to visiting different kava bars. What is
On the
your
way here,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I stopped at quite a few.
What's your opinion
that,
of the
dude.
kava scene?
Most of the bars that we went to, Low Tide and Grassroots were obviously the busiest bars that we went into. There were a couple of other bars that we saw some people in, but they're a lot of them just seem like businesses to me. They haven't embraced the kava culture community part of it, and they really need better kava.
Yeah.
They really need better quality kava.
And
Yeah, I've been saying
use
that for a
good
while.
water.
And just
Purified
the
water.
kava that they're selling, I can tell that it isn't very high quality. They're being told it is,
Yeah.
but it's like this is high quality kava. Like,
Yeah.
when you drink kava and you don't get sick from it, and you don't.
Yeah.
I got this taste in my mouth from one of these bars where I just can't get this damn taste out of my mouth.
Oh.
It's helping having better kava in my mouth now.
Yeah.
But
That's
Nicole and I
bad.
both have been experiencing this, getting this kava taste stuck in our mouth
Yeah.
from drinking this type of kava that we're not used to.
Yeah, there's a lot of kava bars that are just like, I want to take the kava bar off their title. There's one bar we found out that the owner is keeping the employees' tips.
It's happened. I've heard of that.
Yeah, and with the tip bucket out and everything,
Yeah,
cash
I've
and
heard of that.
everything,
I've heard of that.
and
And
they
our
get
I
fired
know
for
of a place
keeping.
that I know
Yeah.
of a place down there that used to do
There's-
that.
Yeah, there's bars down by me that do that or have done that for sure.
That's just.
Well, as a customer, how would that make you feel though? Like you think you're
Terrible. I
tipping
wouldn't-
this person
Yeah.
for this
And the
wonderful
experience.
service.
No, I would
Yeah,
never
it's
do that. That's to me,
It is
yeah,
also
right.
illegal.
Right.
Yeah, right.
It's illegal. You are right.
Yeah, it's like
Are you sure? I don't think it's illegal anymore because there was I think it's even a federal thing that I heard of
Yeah.
maybe about a year and a half ago,
That's
2 years
terrible.
ago. That's like if you're pulling tips, the owner can keep it all,
Really?
and it's their discretion to dole it out if they dole it out at all.
That's wild.
Just ridiculous.
That's
Yeah.
just-
It's a recent thing.
I don't think ownership or management can actually engage in tip share.
And they keep it from the customer. So as a customer,
You think you're
I think
tipping.
I'm tipping him, and he can't tell me that he's not getting it or he gets fired. So I'm under the impression that he's getting it. I tip him big, and it all goes to the owner. And it's not that they're getting an elevated wage.
Whether it's
They're-
legal or not, it should
It's-
be illegal.
Yeah,
Yeah,
not
it's
right.
just
That's
I mean, you gotta say where the tips are going. You can't just put a tip jar out
Exactly.
there and act.
yeah.
You know, like sometimes the tips go to the back of the house because they're
Right.
like making all the food. You know,
Yeah.
the person out front is just bringing it up. That's all
Yeah.
they're doing. You know, and I get it. You know,
like,
If
but
they're
at the same
sharing
time-
it,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
no, it's going to the owners, and
Yeah.
all their employees don't even have cars.
Yeah.
We can start calling kava bars out.
there you go.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
we
call
got-
them.
it's
not
We'll
a
start
very
calling
Kava
them out.
community.
I'll pull that
No,
spot
not
out.
Let's yo, Amy Savage.
I don't care.
You're savage.
Well, that's good.
Oh my goodness.
That's really good.
Classy.
Yeah, it's the best kava you'll ever drink.
Is this available to purchase?
I sell it on
Maybe.
my website, knockemollathome.com. I sell it in retail bags at the moment. It's pretty expensive because the supply of it is very limited. It's very rare, very scarce commodity. I'm working very hard to try to get more of it to try to be able to sell it to some of the bars.
Gotcha.
You know, to Sean, Ken, people that I do business with, the ones that have supported me long term are going to be the first ones to be able to have it if I'm able to get it. But right now, I'm just drinking it all.
My mouth
I'm
is
making
numb.
it in my bar and I'm drinking it all. And we sell it at the Knock. And my employees are all drinking it all now. Everybody, Nicole loves it. We've been,
Really good.
yeah, that's the best kava I've ever
Tastes
imported
like
in over
cashews.
20 years.
Right? It's got like a nutty, milky
like-
taste to
yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's great.
Well,
and it's strong. It's
Ken
strong.
told us a story about where kava comes from.
Oh,
Had a
yes.
vagina involved. I'll just
Yes.
Yeah, it happens.
say.
Yo.
The three of you, not Ken, because we already heard your story. Do you all have an idea or urban legend about where kava comes from?
I mean, the only story that I've ever heard that makes any sense involves a rat and
Oh.
the people showing up in Vanuatu or one of the islands. I'm not totally positive where, but they were drinking. They were trying to find something to eat because they were starving, and the only thing they knew to eat were yams. They eat a lot of cassava, yucca, taro, starchy roots. That's the only thing they knew to eat. So they started digging up the roots of plants because they ran out of food and they wanted to find something to eat. And they had all these plants laying around that they were going to try to figure out what was the next thing they were going to eat. And they saw a rat wander in out of the jungle and start nibbling on the kava. And they watched it. And then the rat fell over and they said, oh shit, guess we don't want to eat that. The rat's dead. Good thing we didn't eat that. And they were sampling the other roots that they had, and then later on they noticed that the rat woke up and walked away into the jungle. And like, oh, the rat just went to sleep.
I think I might try some
they
of that.
they tried, they I don't know
Right?
what the
I think
process is
I'll
of
try
it,
that.
but
You don't want none of this, dude.
that's the only thing that makes any sense. The rest of these legends of people jumping off cliffs with vines tied to them and kava sprouting out of a woman's vagina.
Yeah, that one.
Stuff, like I don't know, man. Like,
I
the
believe.
rat
I
one-
kind of believed it because
Can it be both?
I mean,
But if
Well,
it's a root is in the ground.
Yeah,
it's
but
not.
yeah, but it's
Grow up
like-
your
it
vagina.
could be sticking
it's
up.
so
You
special,
fell.
Great
special,
pleasure.
magical, you know.
There's another story of a brother and a sister.
Yeah, that's the one I know.
The
of,
sister
actually.
died, and the brother was so sad, didn't know what to do. Saw the rat eat this, like root, and fell asleep. He's like, "Ah, cool, I'm gonna kill myself. Eat this root, and then I'm gonna die." But he, ate the roots, and instead of dying,
Had a good time.
like the rat got up and was like wandered off, and he like ate the root, and instead of just waking up. It's not only he woke up relieved, and like the sadness was removed, and he was like, "Wow, this is fucking special." I was like, so sad, but now I feel so relieved and happy, and it's no longer sad for my sister, but like happy to have lived this life with her, and now I can like go move on, and so
He was the rat at the Nakamall.
Yeah.
The same.
dude, there's so many rats in there.
Ugh.
There's a rat. There's
Hear
lots of
them
rats.
fucking running across the fucking
I
roof.
don't know if I want to.
I'll go. I'm going for sure. 'cause-
Nicole had rats trying to break into her room in a treehouse on Tana Island for 3 days, and she didn't sleep.
Oh,
Like rats were like scratching at this little hole.
You're not a rat person?
The brick.
Yeah, I mean, not like if I'd be asleep and they could be trying to
Crawling
like
around.
Eating the food off the corners of your
I've
mouth.
woke up, I've
Nibbling
woken up
so
if I want
gently.
to in the middle of the night with rats cruising around on my bug net.
oh,
Like I've woken up and I'm like, what's that? And I'm like, oh, it's a
Oh.
rat. Go back to bed. It's just running around on my
Just a
bug
rat.
net.
Is it like a
Trying
New
to
York
figure out
rat?
how to
Like
get in.
a
I mean, they're
Florida
fruit
rat?
rats.
They're tree
Easy
rats. They
rats.
get pretty
Yeah.
big. I've only seen smaller ones, but they have lots of rats.
I remember you telling me, Jeff, about one of the people that you went with. You told them, you got to hang your food up. Do not take anything.
Yeah.
They left like a protein bar in
Right.
their backpack,
Yeah,
and the rat ate all the way through it, and then he had holes in his clothes.
tunneled all the way through his backpack. Got the energy bar, extracted it out of the hole, and then went on the floor, opened the wrapper, extracted the energy bar, and left the wrapper. And this guy had a hole in his backpack, and he had like a hole in his shorts here, a hole in his the rat tunneled through his clothes, and I have that too. I have holes with rat tunnels in them.
Yo, that's
From-
crazy.
I leave my toothpaste in, like, I go outside to brush my teeth with toothpaste, and I leave it in my shorts pocket, and then I change and put on my clothes for the day, and then I come back later, and I find the toothpaste in the middle of the room, and I'm like, did I do that? Then I look, and I'm like, oh shit, it's all chewed up. And the rat ate the whole tube of toothpaste.
Oh,
And
goodness.
I have holes in my shorts from
You still have
where
those
the rat
shorts?
got into my shorts to get the toothpaste.
You still have the shorts?
Yeah, I still wear them.
That's amazing.
That is.
Good story.
That is. What'd you think of Low Tide?
I haven't been in yet.
All right.
I just
Still
came
haven't
straight up
been
here.
in.
I
love-
was
I
waiting
love
for you
that,
to set them up.
I love that we decided to paint overnight last night, repainting all the walls. So now he's gonna go in there for the first
Still
time.
gotta
It's
cut
not
in.
actually low tide because the walls aren't finished yet, and there's a bunch of stuff taken down. But
All right,
just,
come back
just the
tomorrow,
fact that he's
man.
just the fact that he's here.
Let me know when you're ready.
Oh, you-
Back to 7 years.
you got to come back for our anniversary in February. It's 10 years. Without you, there would be no 10 years.
Wow.
Aw.
Wow.
What day is it?
February 15th, day after Valentine's Day.
It's John From Day.
John From Day.
I'll see if I'm in Mexico or not.
Awesome.
I go to Mexico every year to see fish.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
you do. Yeah.
So
That's a
Oh, the band.
the band
Yeah,
fish.
I thought you-
Oh, to go.
Now,
That's
You
a,
just go-
it's a
you
far
just
out
see
place
the
to
fish,
be to go.
Hey, fish, how you doing? He goes all the way to
Bye,
Mexico
guys.
just to say
All
hi.
right, I'm out.
Well, still doing good this year.
Oh man, Ken, what's your favorite Cava these days?
I don't know. My favorite Cava has probably been the Kalai, because that's the best Cava that I've had
it's
recently.
my second favorite.
Kalai's got that
Is that the
white
peanut butter one?
chocolate fucking
Yeah.
taste to it. So
Ooh.
good.
Y'all have it at Grassroots?
We have some in low tide.
No, I got some in my personal collection.
He
Yeah,
won't,
we
he
don't
won't
really
sell
know
it. Everyone's
what's
It's that good.
I ain't spreading it around. I mean, yes, I had to hold out because, I mean, it's a rare Cava.
Yeah.
And I've saved it for special occasions,
Mm-hmm.
you know. I mean, I've, like, my brewer out in Tampa, my brewer in St. Pete's gotten some, you
Mm-hmm.
know. Like,
We'll see if Josh can get us some more. I bet you Josh will watch this.
really good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we still
Come
have a
on,
decent
Josh.
amount. I think we still have like 4 or 5 kilos.
Really?
Yeah, we've made a few batches here and there.
Is that what I tried the last time you were giving it out?
Yes.
So
yes, that was the collage.
this is what I love about this place and people like Sean. he gets a new Cava, and I go to order it, and I say, hey, I would like to try the new Cava. I give it to her. I try to pay. They're like, no, we're just giving it out until it's gone. And I'm like, what? Like that's wonderful. So like, I appreciate you doing stuff like
Yeah, I
that.
don't know. It all
A lot
comes
of
from
people-
these guys, but yeah.
A lot of Cava bar ownership follow y'all's blueprint. It should y'all
agree
should
with
write a
that.
book on just how to do a successful Cava bar.
Nah.
Well maintained.
Don't share
Nope.
the secret.
It's not that we don't share the secret. If you haven't been to any of these places, haven't figured it out,
Yeah.
go to these places and experience it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you don't experience it, then I'm not even gonna bother.
You get your own
Yeah,
take
because
on
You
it.
know, and then go experience it, and then think, what is really making this place successful? If you think it's the products, like yes, it's important to have good kava. It's important to have good, products. But at the same time, if you don't realize that it's a lot more than that, then
Yeah.
that's your loss. You'll never be successful.
Yeah.
Or maybe you will. But the level of success won't be, where these guys are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
reading it in a book compared to the first time Kevin and his brother and our friend CJ took me to see Ken at the original Cava bar here. Reading in a book compared to going there and experiencing it for the first time and seeing the community and understanding it from that moment is way more special than just reading in a book and it's like, oh, how do I do this? Okay.
Yeah.
And then just going and doing it. No, you need to experience it and feel that love
Yeah.
to be
Yeah.
able to spread that love.
So how'd you? All right. So many questions. How'd you know what to charge for a shell of Cava? Like, how'd you
We
know?
just guessed. We used to sell kava for
We guess.
$450. Yeah, we just guessed. We didn't know. And then as the kava got cheaper as we imported it, I haven't changed the price of my kava in my bar in 20 years.
Oh wow.
I still sell kava for the same price that I've been selling it for. I sell
Wow,
I
dude,
believe
that's crazy.
that.
Is that
for
price?
$3 a shell.
I
What?
love
I've
it.
never changed the price of my kava.
I love
And
it.
even though the Cava's gotten better.
Yeah. I should sell the Pueriki for more, but I'm like Sean, I just don't care.
Yeah.
Like I want people to have good kava and appreciate kava and enjoy kava. And that's all I care about really.
Yeah.
Well, we couldn't give it away for a while when Bula first opened. It was like,
Yeah.
just drink it.
Yeah.
Experience it.
That's what
You
happened.
know?
That first
That's
time
it,
I
yeah.
came in, I was like, "What the fuck did you guys just
Yeah,
give me to
yeah.
There's
drink?"
blenders and trash
And-
bags, and
And Ken's just
Well,
like, "No, just drink. Here's have another. Here, have another." I was like, "I don't what."
you're gonna love it.
He just kept force feeding me until we went back to Kevin and his brother's
I feel like
house and we
that's
started playing
everyone's
video games and it was like, "Oh my god,
Yeah.
I feel amazing. What?
You
You,
go to
guys want to go
Ken's
back?"
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
he
went
had to-
back that
But he
night.
had to physically just keep feeding me free kava because no one knew what the fuck it was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we gave away a lot of kava.
Yeah.
Oh, lots over the first until 2009 there was maybe 5 bars in the whole country.
Oh,
So
wow.
there wasn't many kava bars and like we literally had to just keep giving it away and giving it away. And Ken and I and Nicole's used to work behind the bar at my bar. We would have to go there and we would try to give people stuff and they'd say, "I'll drink it if you do."
Oh,
Yeah.
We'd be there
Yeah.
for 8 hours, 12 hours just drinking this stuff straight, and we'd be stumbling around, puking, like barely able to function.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
You gotta run
and
from
that's
the
the
money
only
booth.
way we could do it. Like,
Yeah.
because
Gotta
people
keep
were
working.
That's
super
it.
sketched out. They didn't want to drink it if you weren't. If the bar was empty and there was no one around,
Yeah.
yeah, drink this.
Hey,
sketchy
drink
drink.
this
I'll die if you do.
Yeah, I'll die if you do.
It's kind of the way it was.
Inconceivable.
Yeah, that was my first experience at Bula. The first
Who gave you
original,
your first show?
Ken. Yeah,
Me?
you gave me my first show.
The story changes.
It was Ken. Yeah, it was Ken. I remember what attracted me was how busy the bar was and how many people were smiling. And I for sure was like, oh, this alcohol bar. They got a bottle of Jack behind the bar. They have to. Why are these people that happy? You know? And then like, why are y'all all in unison this happy? So someone hands me a shell. I drink it. Immediately go numb, and it's just from that day on, it was just like how every single day after that I would hang out all day. I would leave wallets at the bar. It would be there the next day, and I'm like, what is like these people are like? I would
Weird.
call on anybody, right? I would call someone, they would be there for me, and I'm like, man, this. So the community is what attracted me to it,
Yeah.
and I think that's important in a kava bar is the community that it builds. Because if you don't have a community, it's
You're just a Starbucks.
you're just a Starbucks. You're
Yeah,
empty.
Starbucks,
Exactly.
It's an empty shell. So
Yeah,
like
yeah.
y'all giving away kava and shoving it down people's throat is what helped, because it was able to get them over that initial just stay for a while.
Stay around and people make friends and start talking,
Yep.
and it was hard to build a community. It's not easy.
Yeah.
And it's also not easy to manage. Let me tell you, like,
Right.
trying to manage people on the other side of the bar is the hardest part of all of it. Like, if at this point, like, you never know. It's a wild card of who can come in,
Yeah.
who can be there. People's emotions change. People are angry sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, it's not so easy managing a large community like these two guys where I manage.
Yeah.
It's a handful sometimes. Like, it is.
Yeah, I can only imagine.
But it's also unlimited entertainment.
Yeah,
Right.
that's true. But
I'm glad you think it's entertainment.
Oh, it's hilarious.
it is in its own way. But I want to give some props to our employees, all of our employees.
Oh yeah,
Because
100%.
they're the ones that deal with a lot of the brunt of that. The craziness and the fun and the weird stuff. Because I'm not behind the bar that often. And without them, that's also like the community vibe, and the faces are the employees a lot of the times, and you're getting your experience from them, and it trickles down from the top to the bottom, from the top all the way down to me, to then to the low tide employees, and it's just I just have to shout out our
For sure.
employees. 'Cause I've known the knock employees for a long time. Like
Last time I hired an employee was 11 years ago.
I was gonna ask,
There you
when's
go.
how long is the longest employee?
11.
I mean,
Wow.
Nicola's.
It's a testament for sure. It's a
Since
testament.
2002.
Yeah.
She's worked somewhere else for a little while. But I have Eric Ball working for me still. He's one of the original
Yeah,
employees. Ozzy's been squeezing Kava for me for like 17 or 18 years every
Yeah.
day.
I like
Ozzy's
that.
the
Kava
Kava
every day.
master.
Really?
How-
He is the man
He's
who
mad
taught
scientist.
me.
Are
Yeah.
his
Squeeze a
good?
golf ball. He'll crush a golf
Really?
ball. Yeah, he's
Strongly.
something else.
For good strong forearms.
Yeah, he
Oh
taught,
man,
he
you have no
taught
idea.
Ford and I how to make
He's a
Kava.
beast.
How important is the brewer of a kava bar?
It's important, but you have to have quality product to start with in order. You can't start with trash and end up with good kava. So
Gotcha.
the brewer, you can give the brewer kava, and if they have bad quality product to begin with, they're never going to end with anything good.
Gotcha.
Yeah, even
But it
Ozzy,
is-
even Ozzy can't make
No.
Kava good from crap
Can't
Kava.
put pig
right.
lipstick
Yeah.
on a pig.
Now,
Where, this is a question for everyone. Where did the term muddy come from?
He's the closest person to answer.
No idea.
We were pretty muddy when we came up.
Yeah,
with
we
that,
were
I
pretty muddy when we came up with it. So this is
wait, y'all came up with it?
okay.
think. I don't know
So
who specifically.
this was like super early days. There's
I'm
nobody.
pretty sure it was a Nelson.
It was.
That him or his brother.
I believe so too.
I keep mixing them up.
It was early days.
But I'm
There's
your
nobody
favorite,
hanging out at the Kava bar. It would be Ken working the bar, maybe Kevin at this point. I don't know if Kevin was working there just yet. It was me, Kevin, and his brother Brendan, and our buddy CJ. And it was either Kevin or Brendan that was like, man, I feel really muddy right now.
Ken was like, how does it make you feel?
Yeah, that's it.
He was like, so what? How you guys doing?
Yeah.
And muddy was the term.
Muddy was the term. So it was either I can't remember exactly. It's definitely for some reason I want to lean towards Brendan, Kevin's brother.
Yeah.
Probably.
But it was one of those two for sure
Huh.
that's responded feeling muddy, and now that's a thing
favorite.
here because
That's
they
pretty
don't
cool.
say muddy down where Jeff's from.
Oh no.
Oh, so I don't say
Yeah,
muddy
you guys-
down there. huh?
No, they say bulad mostly.
Bulad.
What we used to say back in the day, because in Vanuatu they don't really have a word for when they've drank too much kava. They have a lot
Full
of French,
normal.
Drink more kava.
they have a lot of French influence, so I've heard them say cavate, which means that they've had too much kava, and I've also heard drunk on kava
Mm-hmm.
in Vanuatu, but they don't really talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
these people get hammered and they don't really talk about it. So
The normal thing.
in Fiji, they call it kava dope or grog dope. In Fiji,
Grog dope.
yeah, and really nowhere else. I mean, we Americans kind of, there's a lot of American kava culture that is unique to America
Yeah.
that has been created here, And some places here in America, I hear them say rooted, and rooted really isn't a
It's not the best thing to
it's
say.
not a great thing to say because
Why
people-
is that?
I mean,
Why
you
is
can
that,
say
Jeff?
it.
the people
You can
on the
say
other
it.
side
It's
of the
good for
world,
something.
It's
Oh,
fine.
dude.
Wait, what?
if you go over to Australia, over to the other side of the world, rooted means you're being physically fucked.
Oh.
Got you.
It's like
So men do the rooting
butt stuff.
and women
Get
rooted.
rooted. Bet.
Like basically, men are
Bet.
going out rooting. And I don't
Going
know,
out
you go to
rooting.
Vanuatu or Fiji, and
Where you been all night?
and you're
Been
a
rooting.
man,
I'm rooting too,
Probably been out
baby.
there rooting,
you're
aren't you?
probably rooting.
you go to these islands and you say, "Oh, I'm rooted," and you're a man. The people are like, looking at you like, "Oh, really? Really?"
Oh
You
man.
know, like I don't know. I discourage my customers from saying that because it's weird.
Yeah, so I remember when I went to the San Diego Cava bar when they used to be called Rooted. And I came back and was telling you about it, and you're just like, what was the name of it? I said, Rooted. And you just started dying laughing. I'm like, why? What's wrong? And then he told me, and I was like, oh, I cannot wait to tell these guys to take me to the bar after getting fucked.
Dude, doing business as not rooted.
Not rooted. I have a song on my album.
You scared.
Yeah, he'll sneak up on you.
You think you're coming down over here?
I have a song on my album called Muddy. I have an album called Cava Chronicles, and it's
Yeah,
about
yeah.
Cava, and
You are the
I have a song on there
softest
called
dog.
Muddy too. So
The American cultures of all.
Muddy is
Yeah.
a good description. I think that's all right.
long as it ain't rooted.
It's for sure very descriptive. you
Yeah.
know. How do you feel? Kind of like stuck in the mud. Not
Yeah.
that being
Yeah.
in the mud is a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like going out mudding, it's like a fun thing. It's like, yeah, it's a fun thing, but you're also like stuck. Like you're slow.
Yeah.
You ain't moving fast.
So
It
we
might-
have
it might not be too late to change it if there's some other
Crunk.
yeah.
We ain't crunk with a K.
Yeah,
we
you do.
did.
We tried. We tried.
Remember that video?
South Pacific crunk.
We did the Little John thing for a while.
SPK.
It's this guy.
Oh yeah, it's that guy. That's
It's
the
this
crunk.
guy.
That's our crunk
This guy was. It's like, yeah, he's a Rasta looking guy.
That's our crunk guy. Right. Yeah.
So
Man.
we have at Cava Spills, we have Cava commandments. Some of them are, what is it? If the place that you're buying Cava from also sells gasoline, don't buy Cava from there. Always keep a stick on you for stirring. Is there any Cava commandments that you guys have for that would go in the Cava Bible?
Don't waste Cava.
Don't waste Cava.
Yeah. Don't leave with anything in your shell.
That's sometimes
Yeah, you see with
bad.
like the grid at the
Yeah,
bottom.
sometimes you're like, oh,
That's
but I
what-
can't
yeah.
waste it. I gotta do it. This might be bad, but I gotta do it.
So y'all have never
Unfortunately,
thrown away
I've
Cava?
been leaving shells of Cava on bars because I drink them and I'm like, I can't drink this, man.
right.
Like I can't do this.
That's
It
different.
pains you.
When it's not
It's
good.
just I don't want to get sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
What
the
about-
other one is to respect it.
Respect the root. Respect the rooted. Give the rooted some respect. Oh
Rooted
man.
respect.
Oh man. Well, this has been a fucking honor, man. Jeff, I appreciate you coming through. Ken, I appreciate you coming back. Kevin, I appreciate you joining us. Sean, I appreciate you putting this all together.
Yes.
Time
Oh,
Code
we gotta
Productions.
thank you to Stephen McKendry
And
for
Stephen.
Stephen
and
McKendry, thank you
Yeah.
very much. You guys
Set it up
were
beautifully.
painting all yesterday and then still came to do this today.
Thanks for setting Sean and Ken up for me. I appreciate
Man,
it.
it was
Yeah,
it was
man.
hard.
Thank you for being here.
Thank
So
these
What a
two.
difficult
dream.
to make him keep his mouth shut.
I know. Thank these two because I would have told him a long time
He was
ago.
so ready
Ken's
to
telling me
say.
today I was with him at lunch. He's like, I got this thing I gotta go do. I gotta do this podcast. I don't know. It's something surprise. I don't know.
I was like, you should come by.
You should come.
by.
Nah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Video. I was
They're
like,
based,
I can tell
yeah,
them about it.
'cause, somebody
see the
said something like,
replay
I
on
heard
that.
Kid said that Jeff's coming up this weekend. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? I got to paint and I got to do this podcast.
See? That's the exact mindset that I have.
He didn't even message me. He didn't tell me he's coming up here. I figured he would say, "There's no way he's
You were
coming
about to
up
text
here."
him, were you?
And I texted him right before because Ken mentioned something, and I was like, "Wait, you're in St. Pete right now?" He's like, "No, I'm in Tampa right now, doing some
told
quality,
me.
some Cava quality
I was out
check."
front on the sidewalk with Roger.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Roger.
Yeah, man. He
Nice.
came to meet me. He came
That's
to meet me.
awesome. That's
Yeah, he's
awesome.
been like a block away this,
Yeah,
this
yeah,
whole
block away,
time.
man.
Yeah, give a little shout out to Roger too. He's been
Should we ask if
Working with
Oh,
people.
yeah.
has any questions.
Oh, first
Hey,
of all,
everybody.
we noticed somebody,
Yes.
Halia. Shout out to Halia. She just said she left your bar earlier
Aaliyah,
today.
I know Aaliyah.
So
He drinks Cava at my bar.
yeah, so shout out to Leah. Viewers, if you have any questions, go ahead and type them on the chat. What's up, Ellis? What's up, Dork?
What's
Yeah,
up,
thank you.
What's
Nick?
up, nerd? I don't know who that
Boy.
is. Zach boy, how you doing, homie?
Yeah,
And
thank you guys for
Kara, love you,
commenting.
Kara.
Sorry we didn't get your comments till now, but thank you guys for
We got a little
commenting.
carried away.
Zach boy, Nicholas Sackrider owns a Cava bar too, so he should be taking notes of this episode
Yeah.
tonight.
Here you go.
I hope you are, my friend. But if you have any questions, guys, we're gonna give it open to you for a little bit. Man, this is
Another round?
might as well. Might as well.
Yeah, you're still a little bit left in there.
I haven't been feeling any of the Cava I've been drinking, but now I'm feeling it.
Hey.
Well, it's because you're getting low tide Cava, not grassroots Cava.
There you go.
Ken's Cava is excellent. I have to say.
Here we
no,
go.
it is.
Now, all right, you
I
got
just gotta give him a hard time.
you
know?
got
Same
you got
Cava.
one. The doctor, Jeff. The doctor gives you one day to live. That's
Oh,
it.
Lord.
You can't. You have a choice to go to grassroots or low tide before you die.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my god.
I know it's fucked up. I know,
Terrible.
but
I'd have to
What
go
do you-
to grassroots just because I've known Ken since
Yeah, that's
we were
100%.
kids.
all right, and then you're meeting him
That's
there.
right.
Yeah, I would.
All right.
To be honest, I'd be upset if he did choose low tide because of that fact.
All right.
Well, it's
Ken-
not really a fair question. He hasn't even
No,
been
it's not a
to
fair
low tide
question.
yet.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
it doesn't matter. Him, like, I mean,
No one's concerned about
Like I've known him
Jeff as one
basically
day.
since I was a teenager.
Yeah, Ken
you know?
and I-
Yeah, no one's
Yeah.
no one's
I mean,
concerned about
college,
Jeff having one day
years
left.
before
Yeah.
the knock.
Years before we ever even knew what Cava was, Ken and I were palling around in college.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how was the response in college way back then?
People thought we were weird. People
Ah.
thought I was weird. I would give him this stuff and like.
Do they still think
Remember
you're
when
weird though?
Keith
Even
had a
back
seizure?
then?
Oh my god! His roommate. I gave his roommate the stuff, and I don't know if he'd been drinking or what. He's flopping around on the floor having
Oh, no.
seizures.
Oh my
And
god.
Ken is like booming, and I'm like, he'll be okay, I think.
I think
I don't know.
it's like a mad
Like-
scientist.
Oh yeah,
Put a spoon in his mouth.
giving people stuff, getting rashes because they were drinking.
Oh,
and
wow.
like, I didn't know. We didn't
Yeah.
know what we were doing.
So
man.
discretion: do not drink Cava and alcohol at the same time.
Never.
Speaking of that, what do you think about Cava bars that serve alcohol?
That's a sin.
Yeah, I don't think it's a good idea.
That's a
but
terrible
in
idea.
Vanuatu or Fiji, almost all the Cava bars there have beer.
They drink alcohol with it,
They
don't they?
wash it down a lot. They call it a wash. They drink Cava and then they go out and drink a few beers later after.
Oh wow.
It's like normal in Vanuatu or Fiji.
Yeah.
I don't recommend doing that
No.
myself. I know too much about physiology and how Cava and alcohol affect you, and I don't think it's a good idea. Have I done it? Yeah, I've done it, of course, and I'm alive. But every single day for years and years and years, I don't think it's a good idea. Just
Yeah.
in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, just drinking alcohol is gonna be not great for you.
I was gonna say,
Right?
just
so
just
you
stick
know,
to one.
if that on its own it ain't so great. I mean, you know, I do drink, but you know,
yeah.
I like to keep my booze
You always
and
you
my
always
alcohol.
drink Coke.
It
After
just
you-
happens to be. Just happens. I
Is
drink
that
something.
there-
And he's
His-
from
The
Michigan,
last
man.
time
He
you
drinks
sat
something
down, yeah,
Pepsi.
you chase it.
Ken and I are both from Michigan
Ken,
too. Ironically,
you guys want a
We both-
burners? I got burners in the fridge.
Oh, I mean,
What's
I would,
that?
yeah, for sure. I would
Burners is
ginger ale made in
Michigan.
Michigan.
Ginger ale.
Oh.
Ah, shout out
Think
to
of
Got
what
some
we-
bite on it.
It's like what we take when we're sick, when we're little kids. It's just a cure for everything. Here, drink Vernors.
yours is
Oh, we
coconut.
were
water.
here.
Coconut water for me. I actually am unfortunately out of coconut water today.
Oh.
But I do have burners in there.
You
so.
usually ration that pretty well.
You have this special surprise. You didn't,
You
give
didn't
me
bring all your
coconut water.
all your drinks.
I know.
tonight.
Oh,
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way, I don't know if I should say this on air,
just
but you're breaking a Cava fast for tonight.
One day, yeah.
All right.
One
that's-
day
Thank
Cava
you,
fast.
Sean.
Well,
Tomorrow.
Kimberly Lang, the manager of Low Tide, we had talked about doing a Cava break right before. Shout out to 2 weeks from now. We have our 10th annual charity ball coming up on December 16th. And we're just like, we should just take a break right before the charity ball, just be good to take a little break.
You ever do a Cava break?
And yeah. Oh, he's taken Cava breaks before. Don't let him tell you.
I never
Yeah,
did
when I
that.
leave town and I'm like on a
There's
vacation,
no
with
Cava.
except
There's no Cava.
Where I
What
didn't
do I
bring
do? I
enough
drink.
Cava.
Exactly. Like boozing, I'm like, oh, I wish it was a shelf.
But yeah, we were supposed
I don't
to.
know
We
anything
started.
about
We
that.
started the
Cava
Cava
break.
break yesterday,
Never heard
and
of
then I was like, "Oh shit, I got this Cava podcast tomorrow. I guess I'm breaking it a day later. Oh
You'll be
well.
all right.
Yeah, I'll be
Yeah.
all right."
Well,
Even
we
if I'm watching,
appreciate it
bro,
because
you'll
the
be all right.
last time when we were interviewing Ken, you were on a Kava fast.
Yeah.
Which
It
I
was sad.
which I bet that you would break in 5 days. That was the bet.
That was 5 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, I went 5 weeks.
I wouldn't make it.
I wouldn't make it.
That's a
either.
long time.
Yeah, I
I
can't.
mean, if I went 5 weeks, I would probably be drunk,
Yeah.
wasted.
Well, I never really. drank,
Anytime
so-
I've like not drank kava for any extended amount of time, I've ended up being drunk.
Speaking of which, though, Kava isn't addictive.
Yeah.
Because that's what this
No,
is kind of
it's-
sounding like right now.
I'd say it's socially addictive.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
For sure.
Yes, for sure.
It's
I
the
mean, yeah,
social
sure, it
connection
feels
between
good. I
you.
don't, even when I go on vacation, I don't need kava, but everybody's like, well, let's have a drink because it's like Christmas time or
Right.
some shit. There's some occasion where I'm like with family, with friends, and they're like,
It's
let's go out and have a drink.
definitely
So, like, it's
suggested
my,
with family and holidays.
Yeah.
and,
Yeah,
Right.
people think you're weird.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care. I just
I
take my
brought
jug of
Cava
Kava.
to family gatherings and
yeah,
can maybe get 1 or 2 people to drink some Cava.
well, I've got a bunch of my family who start
Yeah.
drinking kava.
oh really?
When I'm around, like they ain't gonna drink it.
Is your dad
otherwise.
drinking it?
My dad is finally. It took.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
He drank kava. When was it? Maybe like 3 years ago for the first time. Yeah, it was like right after we opened Seminole Heights.
He'd always come and visit, and he would never drink.
Nope.
Kava. He's like, no.
Really?
And I was like, come on, Dad, we're just gonna drink. He's like, just one. It's not gonna do anything to you. You're fine. It's not gonna kill you.
He's scared of anything you're doing.
But well, yeah, for sure.
I don't blame him.
For sure. If there is someone that lives in the extreme in my family, I would for sure be in that, extreme. They're all super conservative, and if they're not conservative, they're definitely not as, wild as me. I mean, they were all wild in college and then stopped and then grew up. And I was like, well, why not? I mean, nothing's stopping me.
A listener or listener said that Kava comes from Tonga.
Oh.
It
Yeah.
does. There's Kava in Tonga.
It says the
There
history
is
of Kava
actually
came
very-
from Tonga.
There is very good Kava in Tonga from Vavau, Lekahina, Northern Ireland. It's very strong. They do have some very strong Kava that I've gotten out of Tonga. There's no doubt about that.
Some of my favorite Kava that I've ever gotten from you is the Tongan Kava I
Tongan
used to
is
have. I
good.
still have some in my house for special occasions.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
I had a guy named
Beautiful, I made
Brian.
Tongan Kava.
Shout out to Moana.
Moana Cava.
And
They've been
Tonga.
sending us Cava,
It's a Kava
and
farm.
I had to look up Tonga on the map for sure.
Yeah, he knows where it's at now.
And they're fans of the show, and they've sent us some Cava. Came literally in a Glad Ziploc bag,
That's
like
amazing.
somebody's kitchen. I was
It was
so
so
excited,
fresh.
so excited. I was like, yes, this is some backroom
Lawrence
shit.
said, "Oh, can you send us some pictures that you haven't put on social media yet?" And they sent us these pictures, and one of the pictures is of them holding a root. And while we're drinking it, while we're filming, I'm like, I wonder if that root is what we're drinking. And they told me later that it was. Like,
Really?
literally
Wow.
took a picture of the root that they.
Oh, that's
ground up and
dope.
sent to us.
That's dope. Now, when brewing Cava, is there anything visually before you taste it to know that it's good?
It has bubbles in it.
Yeah.
It's usually
Okay.
strong if you can
Yep.
see bubbles in it.
All right.
And you'll see like this white, creamy slick that gets on top of really good Kava.
All right.
It almost looks like an oil slick.
Yeah, it looks like kind of an oil slick coming out of lateral roots only. But for sure, you can, with green Kava, when it's bubbling, like, you're in trouble.
Yeah.
You go to a Nakamal in Vanuatu and the shell is filled with bubbles, prepare to sit down.
That's what
Are you
that
sure
first,
that's not
that
big?
first one in the Nakamal that Joseph made.
Yeah.
He was like, "All right, you're up first, Sean." I'm like, "Oh, awesome! This is so cool." And I looked at it, and I just see like 14 bubbles in this little coconut shell. I'm like, "Oh, fuck." All right, we're doing this. But I immediately knew, I was like, "This is gonna be really strong."
Yeah. Yeah.
Does it taste different when it's green?
Yeah.
It's not
It's like a
Oh, yeah.
combination of Kava and wheatgrass. It has a
Oh.
green,
You're fresh.
Yeah,
green.
so
So
water.
I
You
have,
had that chlorophyll, you know. Like,
Cucumbers.
I have
Fresh.
some frozen green kava that
Cucumbers.
Jeff gave me in my freezer
Wow.
right now.
You didn't drink that yet?
No, not
What?
yet. This was we.
Oh,
Well,
you've been
we,
on a
we,
fast. Okay.
No, yeah. No, we got together. We did drink. We shared a lot with a lot of people. But I'll have to make some for you guys.
I have another load coming right now. I have
Love
a big
it.
load coming,
Yeah,
so
love
when I
it.
get some, I'll send some up.
Sweet.
Well, we're out of Cava, so we'll probably wrap this up. Thank you again, everybody, for coming
for having
through.
us.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
Lawrence,
for
for keeping the secret. Thank you,
Yeah.
girls, for keeping me in
Hardly
check.
keeping
I'm
the
surprised
secret.
that got pulled off. That was
Yeah.
I wanna see the
definitely
replay.
didn't connect the dots.
Yeah.
I knew they were coming for days.
Chip
I was like, I
texted
got
me.
this
He was like,
podcast thing. I was like, all right.
Nicole's
Yeah.
like, Ken's gotta know. Ken.
yeah. I thought for sure. Well, Steven said, well, they met up earlier. How does he not? I'm like, well, he
Oh, you
says.
told Steven?
Yeah, I had to for logistics and
Just
filming and
tonight,
stuff.
right
you know?
before you got here.
Yeah, so he kept a secret too.
Yeah.
All right,
I was
well,
like
man.
hiding on
couple
your
hours.
mom's porch.
Oh, right. Yeah. Nice.
All right, peeps.
Thank
Thank
you.
y'all
everyone.
for
Thank you,
tuning
Hey,
in.
thanks for coming.
Thank
Bula.
Thank you. Hola.
Cava Spills out.
Wow, that was
Thanks everybody.
that was special.
epic, wasn't it? I told you, bro.
Can't believe.
That's rad.
Can't believe it. Yeah,
Gotcha.
you definitely got me. You definitely got me.
What the hell is he doing here?
Oh man, I was fucking.
Look at those kids. Oh, the bottom.